you know what really hurts? When you pour your whole heart into someone, when you think they're the most special person in your life, you want them to notice you, to understand your worth, but what do they give you back? Nothing but silence. Yeah, that silence. The kind where they see your message but don't reply. They ignore your calls on purpose, or they walk right past you like you don't even exist, like you're not even worth counting. Tell me honestly, doesn't that make rage, pain, and helplessness crash over you all at once? Doesn't your heart scream, what if I could say something that would keep them up all night? Well, that's exactly what this video is about. Today, I'm going to share 5 psychological tricks that'll turn the tables on someone who ignores you. These won't just shift their thinking, they'll pull them straight toward you almost magnetically. See, the biggest human weakness is attention. We all crave to be noticed, to be valued. But when someone ignores us, it hits our brain like a punch. And psychology tells us that when you ignore someone, they'll do just about anything to prove themselves to you. So now it's your turn. It's time to change the game. You're not going to chase anymore. You're going to stand still. And when you stop giving your energy away, that person will start to crave it. They'll shake. They'll wonder, how did this person suddenly change? In this series, I'm going to reveal 5 methods that will force anyone who ignores you to remember you, to search for you, and eventually to come back to you on their own. But remember, this isn't just some game. This is about showing your worth. This is about making them feel something maybe no one else ever has. We're starting with your pain. Because until you understand what fire this rejection lights inside you, you won't know how to use that fire in the right direction. So Chapter 1, The Poison of Being Ignored and Its Impact. This is where the game begins. And I guarantee you, if you watch this video till the end, the next time someone ignores you, instead of crying, you'll watch them break down. They'll be the ones crying and begging to get you back. Let me tell you a truth, being ignored hurts more than a slap. A slap stings for a moment, but being ignored? That poison sits deep in your heart and mind, because humans naturally measure their value through other people's eyes. When someone praises us, cares about us, we feel special. But the moment that same person ignores us, a voice inside whispers, "Am I really that worthless?" And that's where the fire of self-doubt begins. Psychology says when someone is repeatedly ignored, 3 things spin in their mind. Overthinking. You keep wondering why they didn't reply. Did they even see it? Your mind loops around them endlessly. Low self-esteem. You start feeling small, like you have no value left, and emotional pain. Neuroscience research shows that the pain from being ignored registers in our brain the same way physical pain from a broken bone does. Being ignored literally breaks your heart. Now imagine this. You love someone and send them a message, but nothing comes back. Your chest tightens, sleep disappears. Your heart keeps checking the phone. Your brain whispers, maybe they'll reply now, maybe they'll call now. But when nothing happens, your heart starts questioning itself. Am I not good enough? Did I do something wrong? Being ignored hollows you out from the inside. The most dangerous effect of being ignored is fear. Fear that the person might drift away forever. Fear that you'll never get your place back in their eyes. And slowly, that fear turns into emptiness. You smile on the outside, but inside, you're crumbling. You sit with people, but loneliness eats you alive. But here's the moment you need to wake up, because if you keep accepting this pain, the other person will always see you as weak. But if you turn this pain into power, it becomes your greatest strength. Remember, being ignored can break you, but that same rejection can make you so strong that the person won't be able to sleep without you. And from this understanding comes the first method. Don't be a beggar for attention. If I asked you what's the biggest reason people ignore you, the answer is simple. You become a beggar for their attention. Because when we like someone, we think the only way to earn their attention is to keep texting, calling, always thinking about them. But the truth is the opposite. Psychology says when supply is high, value drops. Think about it. If your messages always reach them, your calls always ring, your presence is always available, why would they value you? To them, you've become ordinary, not special. Most people make this mistake. The person ignores them, and immediately they send double, triple messages. Where are you? Why aren't you replying? Did I say something wrong? These messages plant only one thought in their head. This person is desperate, and desperate people never have value. So here's how you flip the script. When someone ignores you, your first move is silence. Yes, stay quiet. No messages, no calls, no complaints. Why? Because silence forces people to think. When they were used to you always reaching out first, and suddenly you disappear, questions pop up in their mind. Why did they change so suddenly? And that's when their restlessness begins. Don't be a beggar for attention. Instead, put your own life front and center. Show them you have plenty to do. Spending time with friends, your hobbies, your work, your dreams. When you look busy living your own life, a magnetic energy forms around you, and people are always drawn to what they can't easily have. Psychology's golden rule: scarcity creates value. What's rare becomes precious. So when you pull yourself back, when you reduce your attention, the other person is forced to feel drawn toward you. they start thinking, am I losing them? Remember, never be a beggar for attention, because when you control yourself, the other person loses control, and that's when their deep restlessness begins. So if someone's been ignoring you, it's time to hit them back with their own weapon. But here's the difference. You're not doing this out of anger. You're doing it with intelligence. And control, you've noticed, right? When someone ignores you, you get desperate. But what if you ignore them instead? Two thoughts will race through their mind. Why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did someone new come into their life? Your silence and your distance become a mystery to them. And psychology says people always want what they can't easily get. When you ignore them, insecurity builds inside them. They think they used to care so much. Why did they suddenly change? That thought alone will disturb them and steal their sleep. Now, how do you ignore smartly? You've got to be strategic. Reply late. You used to reply within seconds. Now take 3 or 4 hours. Be active on social media, but ignore them. Post stories, but don't answer their messages. Act normal when you see them in person. Don't get overly excited. Your attitude should say, whether you're here or not, my life goes on. When you do this, something shifts. The power. Control is no longer in their hands, it's in yours. The person who felt powerful ignoring you will now wait for one message, one glance from you. The biggest move is to ignore them while showing that your world is running perfectly fine without them, and that feeling crushes them inside. They start thinking, if they're so happy without me, maybe I'm the one who needs them. That's the real victory. Remember, the answer to being ignored is to ignore back, but with control. Because when you ignore them, their anxiety rises and your power doubles. So far we've learned, don't be a beggar for attention and become powerful by ignoring. But the real game starts when you raise your value so high that they can't even think of ignoring you. In fact, the mere thought of losing you will terrify them. The truth is, people always chase what seems valuable to them, whether it's money, status, or relationships. If the other person thinks you're easily available, your importance will never grow. But when you make your life, your personality, your presence so special that there's no comparison, they'll want you all on their own. Value doesn't come from words, it comes from your lifestyle. Focus on work and career. When you grow professionally, people naturally respect you. Improve your look and personality. New clothes, fitness, grooming, all of it sharpens your image. Learn new skills. When you keep learning, people see you as someone who's constantly growing. All of this elevates you to a different class. There's a term called social proof. When people notice you, want to be around you, the person who ignored you will automatically start valuing you. So show your good moments with friends on social media. Share your active lifestyle. Highlight your wins. When the world starts recognizing your value, the person who ignored you will be forced to notice you more deeply. Your attitude should be, I'm happy alone, but if someone wants to enter my life, they better add value. Never be dependent, because the person who can stand on their own always stands taller than the rest. When you raise your value, the other person naturally gets pulled toward you. They fall into 2 states of mind. Why did I ignore them? They're actually special, and if I lose them, someone else might take them. The game has completely flipped. Now the fear is theirs and the power is yours. Remember, people only understand your value when you raise it yourself. When you upgrade yourself, the world can't ignore you. People aren't driven by logic, they're driven by emotion. No matter how rational someone seems, their decisions, their attraction, their anxiety, it all comes from feelings. And if you learn which emotional buttons to press, you won't be able to stop them from being drawn to you. Emotional triggers are small words or actions that directly awaken feelings and memories in the other person's mind, like a specific song you both used to listen to, a place tied to your relationship, a habit only connected to you. These triggers bring your image back into their brain, and no matter how much they ignore you deep down, they'll be forced to remember you. Psychology says nostalgia is a powerful drug. Old memories shake people deeply. So what can you do? Drop small hints that remind them of past moments. Like in a chat, suddenly say, hey, remember that day we got caught in the rain? That one line can awaken all the buried emotions inside them. The second most powerful emotional trigger? Making them feel your absence. Show your life in a way that makes your presence feel like a lost opportunity to them. Post happy pictures with friends. Show a new activity or hobby. Send the message that you're happy and busy. When they see this, they'll think they're so happy without me. Maybe I don't have a place in their life anymore, and that realization will burn them from the inside. People fear most when they think you're happier with someone else. Post cheerful photos with friends. Join new groups or circles. Show that you have options. When they see this, they'll wonder, are they replacing me? And that fear will push their pain to the peak. Creating a sense of absence means keeping control of the game in your hands. You don't need to overdo it or disappear completely. Just do enough so they feel your absence and keep thinking, why aren't they with me like before? Remember, what hurts an ignoring person the most is the feeling of loss. and you can only trigger that feeling when you raise your own value, control your presence, and force them to think, losing them means I've lost. Now the final step. How do you end this game? You have two paths. You can either teach them a lesson and leave them behind forever, or you can pull them back toward you. But this time, the terms will be yours. Either way, the control is in your hands, and that's the real victory. When you use all these strategies, they'll already be hurting. Now you just need to send this message little by little. Look, I've built my life without you, but if you want me, this time we play by my rules. You don't even have to say it directly. Your attitude, body language, and personality will say it all. Now the question is, do you want to give them another chance, or do you just want to make them suffer and move on with your life? The decision is yours, but in both cases, keep this in mind. If you give them a second chance, never let your value drop again. And if you move on, show them you've built an even stronger, bigger life without them. The biggest lesson from this whole journey is this. Someone only dares to ignore you when you give them that power. But when you control your attention, keep your value high, use emotional triggers, and create a sense of absence, the same person who ignored you yesterday will be desperate for just one glimpse of you today. Now it's in your hands. Will you just listen and move on, or will you apply this to your life and change your story? Remember, you're special. You have value. And if someone doesn't see that, they don't deserve to be in your life. Starting today, never chase anyone. Never lower your worth. Never think less of yourself. Because when you hold your power in your own hands, no one in this world has the courage to ignore you. So if you enjoyed this series, don't just listen and forget, apply it to your life, because life-changing decisions always come from within, not from outside. If you found this helpful and want to see more powerful, impactful videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Women Knowledge Bangla channel. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Thank you.